We will stay in the platform for 30 seconds until our viewers get into the platform. So a very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome back to another session in our series of Meeting an Expert. So with our distinguished guests on board today, to start with the session, may I now invite our chairman, Mr. Bandu Legodage, to share his vision and the wishes along with us. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Kaushali. Good evening, everybody. Hello, Madam Dr. Siddhika. It's a great privilege. It's a great honor to welcome you, professional like you. It's an inspiring woman leader in Sri Lanka, actually one of the leaders. So thank you for being with us. It's a really a great privilege for me to welcome you at this session. Madam, on behalf of Roshan Negodagi, our CEO, and the board of directors, our lecturers, and also the all viewers, and also our population of our total students, once again welcome you and thank you for being with us once again. Madam, APIT as APIT known as a very quality for their quality education, but our objective is this meeting is not only the academic excellence that when the APIT people are leaving, we need to have overall people like leaders. Everybody to be a leader in the society. That is our expectation. That is why Dr. Rohanta initiated this program to have the CEOs on board to get the better experience for our student population and to have a direct interaction and to share their thoughts and views and to get the direct the intervention and interaction people like you, like opinion leaders like you. So thank you once again. And again, APIT maybe is the first education institute probably in the globe or in Ireland to have that important certification, that COVID SLSI COVID certification, which are given from you all for the APIT. I think is another important factor to mention here. So SLSI awarded the first certification for the as an institution, education institution, that COVID status. Everyone has a lot of concerns on these days. How to with regard to the COVID. So we have given that assurance to our students and our parents that our institution is well under control of COVID measures. So once again, it's thanks to you, Madam, your initiative. So without further ado, I would like to ask Dr. Rohanta and Kaushali to go ahead with the valuable program. Thank you once again, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. And let me introduce our speaker today. Academically, a BSc degree specializing in chemistry from the University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. She went on to obtain a PhD in biochemistry from St. George's Hospital Medical School, London, UK. Dr. Siddhika was the first to discover the direct induction of breast cancer cell death by the drug bifosphonates. This was a breakthrough finding which has garnered 525 plus citations in peer-reviewed journals. This performance earned her 2 postdoctoral fellowships at Johns Hopkins University Medical School, USA, and at the University of North Carolina at St. Chapel Hill, USA. Moving back to Sri Lanka, she served the government of Sri Lanka at the Pioneer Scientific Research and Development Institute, ITI, and went on to spearhead establishment of a new biotechnology unit and head it subsequently. Dr. Siddhika has since then pioneered introducing and developing biotechnology research and services in the institute and has gone on to attract external funding to secure rigorous research programs within a short span of 2 years. Thereafter, Director Research Planning and Development at the Vocational Training Authority of Sri Lanka. A notable achievement was the funding secured from the international donor agencies GIZ to upgrade rural centers, leading to setting up of the private-public partnership for skill development. Appointed as the Director General CEO of Sri Lanka Standards Institute, SLSI, Dr. Siddhika is within one financial year, developed the organization to cross a revenue of 100 million. This resulted in the organization having the ability to award performance bonuses to the employees, which are the first after almost a year. During the first wave of global pandemic, Dr. Siddhika architectured the COVID-19 environment system standard, braving the health and logistical challenge during the total lockdown. An initiative of Rotary Sri Lanka and Maldives and strong strategic partnership, SLA was able to develop mechanisms for organization to combat the deadly virus COVID-19. As at today, 200 plus companies have been applied by certified varied sectors. Together with Rotary, Dr. Siddhika is now championing the accreditation be a global standard on the management of COVID-19 virus. Dr. Siddhika is a awardee of a top 50 global award by World Bank and Women in Management. So she's one of the top 50 women of Sri Lanka as we speak for year 2021. Dr. Siddhika, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rohanta, and thank you very much, Pete, for having me.
Doctor, just to get the discussion going.
Yeah.
Thank you very much once again. And Doctor, would you like to elaborate a little bit about your role of SLSI in Sri Lanka?
Yes, Doctor. Our SLSI role is to provide leadership to uplift the quality of life of the nation through standardization and quality improvement in all sectors of the economy. So, so you can see that standard is a very powerful tool. In other countries, standards they are the one who drive the economies. So without standards, they don't do actually anything. For all the things, they make use of standards. So unfortunately, in our economy, that due place in our economy has not been given yet. So my all efforts is to get that due place, because without standards, we can't drive this economy to the place we expect it to be. So, for example, what I will give a simple example, like if we are to import quality goods, is only a standard can do that. Even the president of the country can't stop that. Only the standard can prevent that sort of thing. So you can see standards, they are a very powerful tool. So we have to make use of it. We have to tell the government to regulate making use of standards more and things like that. So our efforts at the moment is educating people and informing the government to make use of standards in their efforts. So that's actually the role of SLSI, to make the country go towards quality.
Doctor, I remember last time at the lockdown in 2020, somewhere around in middle of April, actually, I came and told you, Doctor, why don't we have a standard for COVID control? And it was totally on this whole area of where people are all running around at that time, wondering what to do. it was curfew at that time, and I remember introducing myself, and you straight away said, I think that's a very good idea, we must do it. And you went on a huge program of getting all the best brains around the world for this, and putting together the standard. And then you went through the whole rigorous process of where internally people understood how to get this going, because there was no standard anywhere in the world. So we really appreciate you for what you did. And uh, so, Doctor, you like to just share a few thoughts on the COVID control certification standard which you pioneered for Sri Lanka?
Yes, Dr. Rohanta, I had to first thank the Rotary and Stop the Spread campaign. It was part of that, I think. What our attempts was to give a certification, that to certify as a third party that they adhere to all the guidelines, and that it's a safe place. So, sir, if you could give me 1 minute. So, whole attempt was to certify, because at that time there were a lot of guidelines. So, some people were adhering to them and some people were not. So, but then say a restaurant, or there are two restaurants, one restaurant adheres to that and the other restaurant does not. But as an outsider, we don't know which restaurant adheres to the guideline, which one does not. So that's why we brought this certificate, that we brought in a standard to show that the restaurant that adheres to all the guidelines and the standard, then we certify them. So so everybody knows, outsiders know that this particular restaurant adheres to the guideline, and it's a safe place to go in. So that is as a third party SLSI going and certifying as a safe place. So that is the whole idea.
Doctor, I think it was one of the most innovative products that you have launched actually, and it's really great that you took the leadership. What made you select public sector as a career?
Rohanta, that's a very good question. As you know, my whole adult life I was in UK and USA. And there, the public sector, they always say that we work for the private sector. That is their motto. So because it's the private sector in an economy, that is what they are the one who's driving. So so that really gave me a motivation, to work for the public sector. So that must have been the reason I came and chose. But unfortunately, that motto is not instilled in all the public sector people. So they are competing with the private. That should not be the case. So I think our job is to help private sector thrive, and then all to drive the economy. So we have to inculcate that sort of motto in all the public sector people. So anyway, I think that's what
I have served the public sector for about, I don't know, maybe 10-12 years, from EDB to tourism to the Lanka Satosa, and then also I was in the government peace secretariat. And from my little analysis, Doctor, I think if we have more public sector officials like you, who are innovative and who take passion to what they do, not worried to tell the truth if it is required. I mean, that's a kind of people that we actually require. And I mean, it's excellent that you selected kind of a career in the public sector. But something that really intrigued me was, your research which you did on the cancer, which actually almost there were peer reviews of over 500 plus. Uh, can you just elaborate, Doctor, what made you do that research?
Thank you, Dr. Anand. It's okay. I wanted to do a PhD from a very small age because my mom's brother and sister both have PhD from England, and so maybe that's why I always wanted a PhD. So then I went there, and then I had my chemistry background as well, and then I got this opportunity to find the effectiveness of particular chemical on the breast cancer cells. So then at the beginning it was not effective. So with my chemistry knowledge, we modified it, and then ultimately we got a very, very good product. And so as a result, that was the first time we found that that particular drug is effective on breast cancer cells. And not only that, that particular drug has an affinity towards the bone, that it goes and deposit in the bone. So breast cancer cells also has an affinity to metastasize to the bone. So because of that, this drug helps the breast cancer cells that goes to the bone to kill. So that was a very effective drug. It's now available even in Sri Lanka. So because of that was a very good finding actually. So because of that, there were 500 more research has come up because of that finding.
So, Doctor, you must actually claim authorship for that drug. You might.
I know. Only now, only now, we are initiating legal process.
So, Doc, I mean, after working across in different countries, and doing so well, I'm sure you could have always looked at a career there. But what made you come to Sri Lanka?
Doctor is like this. I was in USA at that time, and then I received this video where it says that why America is continue to thrive as the best economy. The reason being the H1 visa, and H1 visa, it is which attracts all the cream from the other poor countries, and they make use of them to make their country thrive. So that video really frustrated me. Like, I had a free education from Sri Lanka, and then I am helping another country to thrive. So that really made me think, and that must have been the decision made me decide to come back and help my country to thrive. So yeah.
What is your reaction to the pandemic, Doctor? I mean, you're a select group of people selected to have studied in a fantastic school like John Hopkins University. What is your view?
It was real. I mean, it was quite unexpected, and nobody was prepared at that time. So, but it has given us a lot of lessons. One thing is that we should be able to adapt to changes very quickly, and we showed that we can. So reaction, rather than a reaction, I would say that we learn a lot of lessons because of this pandemic. Everybody learned. So, I mean, new habits, new way of doing things. Likewise, yeah. So, I would think more than a reaction that taught us a lot of things.
Doctor, do you think that the world could have managed it a bit better?
I definitely think I would think at the very beginning until this until in China the patients become zero. All the countries, if they had closed the borders, I mean, then you would have spread it. But then now, having said that, but now it has gone. But now the problem is unequal distribution of the vaccines. So I have to say now, my son is at the moment in holidaying in America. I mean, it's like now in America, anybody, even a visitor, can go straight away into a pharmacy and get the vaccine. So now in America, it's quite normal. They don't wear masks. The schools have reopened. The workplaces have reopened. So everything is normal. So I mean, the thing is, we can't blame our country, the government also, but it's just that the people who can buy, they have got it and they are doing well. And Sri Lanka is the way to go is vaccine.
Doctor, so you strongly feel that in Sri Lanka, one way that you could bring some kind of stability is through the vaccine. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. Because I have seen now is America was the worst, one of the worst hit countries, but they are now quite normal. I mean, normal means quite normal. It's just that even pre-COVID days like. So Sri Lanka also, but it has to be done in a very scientific way. Like those countries, they started off with over 80s, over 75, 70s. Likewise, they have to go now. Even, I mean, the Pfizer vaccine, of course, can be given to kids as well. Now they are vaccinating the kids as well. So, but you have to do it in a very, scientific manner. Then that's the solution, I would think.
Doctor, can you tell us a little bit about how the COVID-19 certification, which you championed for Sri Lanka, how does it work?
Dr. Anand, it works like, it's actually stops the spread. Basically, it stops the spread. That is because the standard is such that it does not allow the standard, how am I to say, the specifications and things does not allow it to spread. How am I to say that we take into consideration even the airflow from an AC. So we don't allow anybody to face it. So likewise, a lot of things have been taken into account, and not only that, sustainability is there, because if you are comparing with a guideline, nobody is there to see whether you are following it or not. But in the with the standard, even the CEO has responsibilities. So they all have responsibilities to see the other one is adhering to all the standard space. So because of that, is when you if you have taken this standard, the certification is very difficult to not to adhere to. So all the because of that, I think the spread is minimal. Spread is minimal with this certification.
How many companies have been certified so far?
I think so far more than 150, and in the pipeline they have applied for another 50. So I think after this third wave, there may be more companies who would be wanting this as well.
What are the key lessons that these companies have picked up from the certification, Doctor?
so far, but it doesn't it will not prevent people with positive people coming. Any institute or any entity will have a positive case. But what this does is, from that positive person, it will not spread to any other employee, and that has been the case so far with the companies that have taken this certification. There had been cases, but it has it was limited to only that person. It has not spread to the others.
So what you're saying, doctor, is that you'll first check if the procedures have been maintained in the companies, and then you'll audit those procedures, and you make sure that those procedures becomes a way of life, and it is followed right from the top, so that then you make sure that the spread will happen, because otherwise, that's how. So doctor, now it's been almost 1 year. How many companies have gone for the re-certification?
I think rather everybody who's now to coming to us, their 1 year, they have they wanted for the second year as well. So far, all of them, because they know the value of it. I don't think anybody will miss it.
You're right, because before you came on line, what I did was I did a bit of research, and Trelleborg, the first company which is the highest net foreign exchange earner for Sri Lanka that manufactures tires, they have gone for a recertification. The Sri Lanka's #1 tea exporter Akbas, I think, was the second company to be COVID control certified, has also applied. So, which means that that things are it means that it has become systemic in nature, and it talks very good for you and the organization of SLSI, that something is been continued, the behavior is repeated. So what is your advice to a youngster studying MBA?
Dr. Rohan, the first thing I have to say is they have to dream big. They have to dream big. That has to be their motto. So only if you start dreaming big, say they dream that one day you want to be a CEO, and then only they will start observing the leadership styles and leaderships of, how did that person make that decision, what thoughts went into that. So all these things, they will start observing and start thinking and analyzing, comes with that dream. If you don't dream, you will not just observe. So you will say yes or no for a thing, and you all just go. So, first thing I have to say is, now where they are, equipped with an MBA, the sky is the limit for them. So if the sky is the limit, with an MBA, they can go to any field, anywhere. So just dream big. That's my first advice. And the second one is, they should not be scared to make use of the opportunities that come their way. So maybe a new career path, new challenges, but don't be scared, because that they have to take up, and that will, that is the way to go forward. Taking up challenges, saying no to any career change, or I think that's how it should be.
When I look at your track record, I've always seen that, from ITI, you expanded your business. You joined Vocational Training Center, VCT. Once again, you expanded business. And even at SLSI, within 1 year, you crossed 100 million mark, kind of a thing. So, I think you're more than a policymaker. You're more like a CEO, doctor, if you ask me, as a very independent person. Is that right? Is that right to say?
I guess, yeah. At ITI, from scratch, I mean, I had to select the tile as well, the color of the tile and the design and everything. And I had to procure all the equipment, the chemicals, and then I had to hire people, select them, and I built that biotechnology unit. I mean, you can say by myself because there was nobody. So, and then after that, I brought in a lot of funding to start vigorous research, biotechnology research and services. So from there, then I left science altogether uh, for the vocational training authority. And there I realized that, I mean, you can't just depend on the GOSL money to develop. So I quickly brought in money from GIZ, and they were really good at giving money for the, I mean, they started off with North and East. So anyway, I built a lot of new centers. After that, I had, so I brought in two private companies like Jetwin and AMW for PPPs, private public partnership. That also is a very good initiative. And Dr. Rohan, you won't believe that AMW wanted to take mechanics from Sri Lanka to Dubai. And so they wanted to build a new center. And there wasn't, because they need a 8-meter clearance for their vehicle thing, I couldn't find any place. And then, you know, you won't believe, in when you go to in the Gaul Road, there's this, in the booth area, you have this food storage areas, and they were really run down. Nobody has made use of them. The roofs have fallen down. So anyway, I got all the government uh, approvals, and I made use of 3 of them and built a very nice center there. And I'm very proud to say that you will see when you pass that that was done by me, and that was a real private-public partnership effort. So yeah, you're right. You can say that.
So where do you go from here, doctor? I mean, what is your next career move?
Dr. Rohanta, even though I have, I dream big, but I also don't dream for a particular one. So I had to wait and see what my opportunities are coming my way, and I will see.
Thank you very much, Dr. Siddhika. It was lovely having almost a half an hour discussion with you. I mean, you are unmistakable in Sri Lanka. Everybody, if you go to the public, everybody knows you. You know, you became famous in the last 3 months. But the objective of today is to kind of understand the other side of Siddhika Senaratne, and to see the depth of thinking, the quality of thinking, and to understand, you know, I mean, I know you personally, so I know that, you know, you're a fantastic lady, and we are really proud to know you, and I mean, we acknowledge the good work you do. So thank you so much, Dr. Siddhika, for being Kaushali. Can I hand over to you?
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much,
Kaushali?
Doctor. Indeed, such a timely opportunity for us to have this conversation to understand how much of a challenge that one person can be just taking at a different time, and what is the story behind that. So thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on board with us today and giving our students that motivation. And it's indeed important to know that how do you survive, how do you thrive in challenging times as a person, and holding that particular unit together when you are so in love with that unit and when you're so passionate about it and without letting it go. So thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And with that, we come to the end of another session, an important session that really addressed some of our concerns that we had, especially as students. So while thanking all of you, including Doctor, for coming on board with us today, we'll meet up again in another session. Until then, good night. Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye, Doctor.
Bye-bye.